street. Everybody that you meet has an original point of view. And I say, hey, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. If you could learn to work and play and get along with each other. You got to listen to your heart, listen to the beat, listen to the rhythm of the street. Open up your eyes, open up your ears, get together and make things better by working together. It's a simple message and it comes from the heart. Oh, believe in yourself, for that's the place to start. And I say, hey, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. To learn to work and play and get along with each other. Hey, what a wonderful kind of day. Hey, what a wonderful kind of day.
Hey! Hey! DW! Hey! Whoa!
Every day when you're walking down the street, everybody that you meet has an original point of view. And I say, hey, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. If you could learn to work and play and get along with each other. You got to listen to your heart, listen to the beat, listen to the rhythm of the street. Open up your eyes, open up your ears, get together and make things better by working together. It's a simple message and it comes from the heart. Oh, believe in yourself, for that's the place to start. And I say, hey, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. To learn to work and play and get along with each other. Hey, what a wonderful kind of day. Hey, what a wonderful kind of day.
Hey! Hey! DW! Hey! Whoa!
Every day when you're walking down the street, everybody that you meet has an original point of view. And I say, hey, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. If you could learn to work and play and get along with each other. You got to listen to your heart, listen to the beat, listen to the rhythm of the street. Open up your eyes, open up your ears, get together and make things better by working together. It's a simple message and it comes from the heart. Oh, believe in yourself, for that's the place to start. And I say, hey, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. To learn to work and play and get along with each other. Hey, what a wonderful kind of day. Hey, what a wonderful kind of day.
Hey! Hey! DW! Hey! Whoa!
Every day when you're walking down the street, everybody that you meet has an original point of view. And I say, hey, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. If you could learn to work and play and get along with each other. You got to listen to your heart, listen to the beat, listen to the rhythm of the street. Open up your eyes, open up your ears, get together and make things better by working together. It's a simple message and it comes from the heart. Oh, believe in yourself, for that's the place to start. And I say, hey, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. To learn to work and play and get along with each other. Hey, what a wonderful kind of day. Hey, what a wonderful kind of day.
Hey! Hey! DW! Hey! Whoa!
Hello. Welcome back to Tyranny. Oh. At least from what looks like on the levels, it looks like the blomps are the only thing coming through on the menu music. Let's turn that up. There we go. I don't remember noticing this music before. I'm not sure if it's different than what we had the previous times, but I like this menu music. Although it is a little blompy. Oh, ugh. I don't know if we've seen this. Oh, I guess that's probably the Spire, right? So we have not seen this yet. I was like, well, from the perspective of the game, it would be hard to actually tell if we've seen this because we never see things at this perspective. You know, it would be. Right. Oh, it is all lined up. Yeah. So last time we had to pick a side, which was unfortunate. Oh, we have this again. I don't think this was in Deadfire. It's in Pillars 1. Maybe it was in Deadfire. So this is kind of interesting. Wow, the Bendrians really love me. His favorite loved me too, but how did there's no like big dump in either direction from siding against the chorus? Hi, Sophie. Oh, okay. I guess it affects the voice of Narat a whole bunch, and then that affects the chorus. I guess that's what happens. Yeah, that's he's mad. He's mad. You sided against Narat, technically. I guess that's technically true. I didn't side against the chorus, exactly. Just their leader. Diamond says, but he's not 5 mad. Yeah, not quite. Man, Graven Ash didn't even get to 4 like from siding with him. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Oh, we were gonna do more companion talking, right? Right? That's what we were gonna do. Did we talk a lot to Barrick? So we did all of, where's my talking button? There's my talking button.
You look as if you have something on your mind. By all means. What can I do for you?
I guess we did talk about that. Tell me about the disfavored. We are the Iron Legion, the warrior elite of Kairos' fighting force. I could easily lose count of the hours extolling our glories. What is it you'd like to know? Well, why is the Legion called the disfavored? His name born in shame, now born in honor. After Graven Ash stood against Kairos, he was forced to give up much. His allegiance, his pride, and the name of his wanted army. What was the Legion originally called? The name has been forgotten by all save Ash and Kairos, and is considered bad form to bring up the topic. Since you didn't know any better, I'll say this much. Disfavored is the only name by which one needs to know us. I'm assuming that's magical that no one remembers, considering it's like 2 generations ago. It has literally been erased from history. What is the Latin phrase for the Roman practice? Like, damnatio memoriam or something? Save it except only the finest warriors. We're all volunteers and soldiers by trade. Not farmers and fishmongers pressed into service. That's close. That's fine. I don't speak Latin, so. The century of tradition, honor, and tactical mastery in our ranks. Damnatio Memoria. Okay. That was close. Yeah. Which is the I don't know how often it was actually used. I'm guessing very, very few. But it is literally a practice of trying to erase someone from history by striking their name from records and monuments and such and such. Yeah, scrape the faces off the coins. Yeah, do all the stuff. We don't let anyone into the Legion. Only Northmen of character and prowess are welcome. What if a capable Tearsman wished to join? We would not recruit even a champion of the Tearsmen. Each soldier in the Legion is tied by blood and fealty to those that stood with Graven Ash during the coming of Kairos. That is part of who we are and will never change. What if I wanted to join? Charming sentiment, good fate binder, but no. You are sworn to another Archon. Your loyalty would be suspect. That's fair. What can you tell me of your time in the Legion? Joined the Legion 3 years before the Conquest of the Tears. Though handy with a few weapons my size, made me the perfect addition to a phalanx. Is that what a phalanx needs? I don't actually know. Need like a linebacker? I've served with the stone shields ever since. Proud to say I've stood front row, right corner, on over a dozen battles. That's been my place ever since the Iron Marshal gave me the assignment. Okay, that makes sense. That seems like that would be an important position. That does sound very football-y. Or American football-y. The Bastard City, the Gates of Judgment, Vendriad Pass, Aaken's Ring, Quick Tour and Barris and Chains, and then Stalwart. I spent a long time in Stalwart. Lost a lot of friends there. Have you fought in any notable battles, aside from all the notable battles you just listed? I served in Stalwart for the better part of a year. Faced the enemy everywhere from Coral Run to Sentinel Stand. Lost count of the battles. Seems like we fought every other day. Sigh echoes in the cavern of his helm. I think that just counts as one battle then. Some of our best victories took place there, fighting an enemy worthy of our iron, but we were not successful enough to please the Overlord, and the final intervention was harsh on us all. Beric takes in a deep breath, his arms folding as his posture stiffens. A legion of people specifically cultured and bred from a culture destroyed by Kairos. Can you say, Auditor? I mean, no, I can't say his name, but yes, I get the... I mean, it's interesting because earlier, I think I said it on a previous stream, right, that the disfavored do, with the disfavored in the chorus, there's a very, like, Legion and Federati, there's an O in there, but, vibe going from between those two. But yeah, this is kind of a more of a late Roman, like, even the Legion is itself not Roman sort of situation. Which is like, where is Kairos' regular army? Does Kairos have a regular army still? I mean, I guess these are the regular army, but like, who conquered the disfavored? Kairos has a regular army. Okay. Kairos has a Kairos army. But another Archon conquered the disfavored. Okay. Do they not? Is the Kairos army just like the police? They don't send them out. I mean, I'm sure we'll get more information, I guess. But some of our best victories took place there, fighting an enemy worthy of our iron, but we were not successful enough to please the Overlord. The final intervention was harsh on us all. Beric takes a deep breath, his arms folding as his posture stiffens. Yeah, we'll get there. Okay. I had an unusual view of the Edict of Storms. Kairos' judgment left its mark on me. Considering how we fought at Stalwart with the skill and honor of legend, only the Edict is remembered. A shame. Okay. The Archon of Battle, or what is Graven Ash considered? It's like, oh, you got a bunch of generals leading armies, and then also, by the way, then there's who have like Archon of X titles, and then also there's a guy who's just the Archon of War. Like, that seems a little Tunon is a really good indicator of like the Empire at large since he is very old. Okay. Grivenesh is the new Archon of War. Okay, gotcha. Gravenash is the general that is favored, veteran of centuries of battle, and an Archon without peer. I would fall him to the void and back without question. Beric swings his arm in salute. As an Archon, what magic does he wield? Archon works his magic through us, his soldiers. When we do battle, Ash seems to know the events even before our runners have given word. Most importantly, though, he protects us. It's a bit tricky to explain unless you've experienced it. I can think of countless times I've been struck by a spear, hit with an axe, and run through with an arrow, and in each of those moments the pain and injury just cease to be. This is what a high-level fighter in D&D should be, shouldn't it? None of us know how he does it. I can sense that we're in danger and intervene from afar, but I suppose that's why he's an Archon. What he does probably wouldn't make sense to someone like me. How did he come to serve Kairos? Before the uniting of the Northern Empire, Graven Ash served as a warlord in the service of one of the local kings that defied Kairos' rule. Incredible as it may seem, Ash stood against Kairos' rule. No, it doesn't seem incredible. I've heard about it a lot, just not any detail. His army was dismantled by Kairos' overwhelming numbers. Ash performed admirably, so that he and his troops claimed 70 and 7 lives for each of their own. Oh, how biblical. Kairos took an interest in the military genius that bloodied his army. Graven Ash was summoned to a conclave of Archons, and though he was sent in chains, he left as an Archon, having been granted a position of power in Kairos' great host of war. Thus the Deceived were born. All of us today trace our line back to those warriors that impressed Kairos with their will and tenacity. The only difference is now we fight on the winning side. General seldom speaks of it. I know that Ash humbled himself in order to spare his troops the brunt of Kairos' punishment. His loyalty to the old blood of the North is beyond question. So Ash bent his knee to a conqueror. That's not really a neutral state. Or that's not really a negative statement, that's just a neutral statement. But I'm guessing if we want to make nice with Beric, we should say he made the right choice to save his troops. Yep. He would. I mean, we could just, be tearing the shit out of Beric, and that's presumably a valid option, but make it again to save any of us. There's never been a more devoted and attentive leader. Beric makes a proud fist and steps to a salute with a forceful clatter of pots and pans. What do you know of his past? Or what else do you know of his past? I follow him into battle. I'm not his personal scribe. If I did more of him, it would not be my place to say. Beric takes a half step back, folding his arms across his chest. How do you feel about him? How do I feel about him? Archon Ash is the bravest, warmest, most compassionate general who ever lived. He's a living icon of leadership and courage. Hi, Mary. Beric tilts his head slightly to the side, as far as the seat's limited range of motion permits. Ash is a soldier, but he doesn't kill for sport. A leader, but he doesn't issue commands to hear himself talk. He demands discipline and sober conduct of his troops, and I applaud such standards. I'm doing alright. How are you, Mary? One of the other disfavored lieutenants. They are Graven Ash's most trusted officers and warriors from the Iron Guard. Between Ash's arcane powers command, his cadre of gifted leaders, a little confusion or chaos in the ranks. Tell me the one they call Iron Marshal. She takes it upon herself to train and harden our green recruits. Not only that, she has a keen eye for talent and how to foster it for leadership. She's the youngest member of the Iron Guard. Her family served the disfavored back before Ash bowed to Kairos. Say what you will, how many seasons she's weathered. Her lineage is impressive beyond measure. Well, you know, as long as she's got good genes from her, from her noble heritage. I don't know that we've met any of these other people. Oh, I guess we've heard of Radix. We have not, I don't think, met these other people. What of Karen's disciple, Radix? An Earthshaker was service to Karen a few years before the conquest. Since Karen is gone, the cult now follows Radix. Unlike the Archon, at least he knows how to follow orders. To his credit, Radix seems to appreciate the honor of fighting alongside the disfavored. Karen was always peeved to be invited in the glory. Yeah, because it sounded like the Earthshakers work for the disfavored, even though they were led by an Archon. So there can be Archons subordinate to other Archons, maybe? Oh, thank you for the follow. Lan the Stupid. Mages seem a necessary complication. They're insubordinate and can't lug their own supplies, but I wouldn't want to go to war without their spells of tremor and leaping stones. Yes, you need artillery. What of the Scoutmaster, Merrick? Merrick is a devoted leader, and Ash seems to hold his counsel in high regard. Both set their troops ahead of themselves, which I'm sure is why they work so well together. He's no magician, but he does seem to share a special connection to his warband. They're entrusted with the most important scouting assignments. They say he can see what his scouts are. What his scouts see, hear what they hear. Okay. What of the veteran warrior, Varamus? He's the finest of us, second only to Ash. Varamus is an Evocatus, a soldier who lived to see the end of his first term of service. It's rare for anyone to survive that long, much less willingly return. These days he lends his tactical expertise to Graven Ash. By all rights, he should be enjoying his twilight years in a seat of honor and dignity. Okay. Why didn't the Legion prevent the uprising of Vendrians? Well, this is going to get a good answer. I think that's a question you ought to ask the Scarlet Chorus. They too were charged with ensuring the locals remain vanquished and unarmed. Merrick lurches forward as he speaks, iron plates grinding under his motion. Well, I would say the Vendrian Guard are really the only guilty party. It was their rebellion, after all. We don't want to make anyone angry. That is a supposition unworthy of you. Tears are but children before Kairos. Oh, we don't blame them for their ignorance, but the responsibility to set them straight is ours alone. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. What can you tell me about the tiers? Uphill both ways, full of dumb sods. I learned some history and training. I've been here a few years, but I'm no expert. What is your assessment of the local forces? It was time early in the war when I would have feared the younger Whelms working together. Imagine that, he chuckles. Once I saw the modest scope of their defense, I knew they would be easily outclassed. Couldn't even rally their best to make a competent stand. Oh, who are these people? We never heard of these people. Tell me of the Vendrian Guard. They used to be the Queen's Royal Army. I guess defeat inclined them to a shorter name. We crushed them back in 429. I'm proud to say took part in the decisive battle. You know the rest. A year after we had them conquered, thousands of Vendrian Oathbreakers murdered the garrison and declared themselves free of the Overlord's rule. Other factions. The Unbroken Legion, which is the army of Stalwart. So these are the other tiers, or whatever, the other realms. Okay. The Unbroken Union of Stalwart, may they rot in the decrepitude of their fallen realm. Barrack squeezes his gauntlet into a hard fist. Much as it pains me to admit it, in all the realm of the tiers, the Unbroken have been the only foe worthy to meet the disfavored in battle. And Unbroken value tradition just as we do. Stalwart has never lost a war on their own soil, a reputation they take quite seriously. Other than the one they did? It's fortunate Stalwart has poor relations with all its neighbors. The rest of the tiers will not come to their aid, so as bravely as they fight, their end is inevitable. Isn't Stalwart where the Edict of Stars happens and you guys they fucking destroyed everything? Now it says, tell me of the Bronze Brotherhood. You just made that one up. Bronze Brotherhood is a mercenary company from the Free Cities. Okay. Hey, Billy. How's it going? Okay. Interesting. Mercenaries from the Free Cities. The course needed extra muscle, and you can always make new rings. Hard to believe the Tearsmen turned on each other for mere loops of metal. Bronze Brotherhood worshipped the Scourges. Yes, those monsters from the old walls. Mercenaries are grown adults that willingly admire a magical abomination. Read into that what you will. Okay. Bunch of shit here. Should surprise no one, the Bronze Brotherhood eventually wanted more than just rings and turned on their contract. Kyrus now considers them an enemy. That's
Go
weird.
on, Fatebinder.
Seems like a bad idea as a mercenary to turn on the most powerful army in the continent. What do you know of the Younger Realms? Before we marched on the Bastard Tier, I recall Graven Ash giving us a speech as we stood assembled at Fort Resolution. He told us that the Younger Realms lacked the sense to make a stand against us. I don't think I need to point out the average Tearsman is just plainly inferior to the sons and daughters of the North. For one of ours they kill, we must drag a score and a half bleeding into the soil with us. It didn't help that they're afraid of magic and relied on their battlefield prowess to stage a defense. You said you didn't like magic. And clearly they do have wizards. Or whatever. Mages. What do you know about the Beastmen? Yeah, that was really awful when we talked to them. They drilled us on the Beastmen comment before the invasion, but it did little to deter us. The local savages are lacking in brains, hygiene, and the ability to arm themselves. Yet the prime hunters of the species are formidable. Yes, they are waterbenders, Daimon. The local group are waterbenders, correct. Aside from being rapacious killers, the Beastmen make good haulers and laborers. Once you've killed the half, they won't follow orders. Oh yeah, they're good slaves for manual labor. Great. That is what the caricature was. Questions about the Scarlet Chorus. While their allies do not share this favorite sense of honor and discipline, the Chorus will trust any criminal, rapist, or half-wit with a truncheon or blade. I mean, yeah, you only trust the criminal, rapists, and half-wits with noble lineage with a truncheon or blade. How do you think the Scarlet Chorus convinced so many Tearsmen to join with blades at their throat? Oh, it began with Siren. Sorry, Siren. But really. She had a song that got whole villages barking to her will, and once these peasants killed their neighbors or cousins in service of the voices that either hardened them into warriors or broke their minds for servitude. Lots of criminals and drifters joined the chorus too. It seems like the scum of the tears just need the promise of glory and sanctioned debauchery to turn on their neighbors. Yes, the lumpen proletariat. Familiar with the concept. It's not pretty, and it shouldn't be. The chorus is a forge. All the dirt of the tears goes in, and the finest bits are refined into weapons. Oh, you're making diamonds, huh? So many that join Scarlet Chorus because they wish to join the winning side. It's a shame that such patriots are not born to proper northern stock, too weak or too slight to be disfavored. Scarlet Chorus is their best freedom from fealty to the Younger Realms. Not everyone has the fortune of gaining Tunan's favor. I'm 100% pulling for whatever gets us to some kind of burn it all. Yeah. So we got Mr. Huge Racist here. And then of course we've got the murder dancer who just feels really good when she's killing people. And then we have our wizard who's basically just the guy who was like, I'll kill people for you if you don't kill me. It best be served liking grain that is favored, which you're certainly correct, even though Lily's Tearsmen deserve the chance to serve, even as fodder on the front lines. What can you tell me about their troops and tactics? Tactics? He's the first I've heard of them. Of course, it's more of an irregular mob than a proper army. Still, it's a well-armed mob. They even have a few proper warriors and magicians, and their pitiful excuses for ranks. If the course is a mob, how is it led and supplied? The Western Rat gives orders to his elite commanders, who in turn send instructions out to gang captains. Beneath that hierarchy, it is chaos. Whole gangs will break from the larger force to disperse back in their homelands. The course is inefficient beyond words, yet more bodies keep coming in to replace those lost in the mess. Yeah, an imprisoned racist imperialist and a serial killer with identity issues. Yeah. Psychic identity issues. Inefficient. Every week being lost in the shuffle is one less burden to those in the choir still dancing to the song of battle. Our ways must be harsh, otherwise the stupid and the soft will inherit the chant. The course has a lot of mouths to feed, so those conscripts that can't or won't fight are made to gather food and water. Else, I'm told, they're fed to the pigs, becoming food and water, in a sense. Barrack shrugs. Fine contrast to the honor, efficiency, and decency of the disfavored. Legion demands courage and tenacity, but provides us with good iron, and does not leave its soldiers to forage like vultures. What sort of magic does the chorus use? The blood chanters are the mages who follow the voices in a route. Like the chorus itself, their order is not steeped in tradition and antiquity, rather built on knowledge stolen from other guilds. Fire magic earns their place in the battlefield, but they also have chants that stir up the mind and the heart. Motherless swords of spells that can bolster a man's courage, or tap into his fears. I mean, that seems useful. If you're a tyrant. What do you know of their warriors? Most chorus rats are untrained peasants handed a knife or pitchfork. It doesn't take much to qualify you for the front lines. One only needs a beating heart, and even then the chorus would make do. Of course, not everyone in the chorus is an infirm child or sickly old crone. Some ex-soldiers and madmen join, and the fighting elite of the chorus form a clique, known as the Scarlet Furies. Barrack is too dismissive by far, but he's right that most of the recruits are novices pressed into service. Most will not survive the first 2 battles. Those who live will have experience to lead. Those who fall could easily be replaced. What do you know of the voices on the rat? All I know are rumors, hearsay, and speculation. That's as much as anyone knows of the voices. Some accounts tell that he's actually dead, and the Overlord has trapped the minds of his foes in the same body to torture them all. Likely an explanation of any I've heard. Truth, I know little of the voices. I have reason to suspect almost anything about him could be true. You could tell me his tears turned cheese back into milk, and it would seem more sensible to believe you than not. Do you think he's disloyal? I really shouldn't comment on such matters. Barrack looks ahead blankly, then clears his throat. Well, I heard his tears can turn cheese into milk. That's very amusing, Fatebinder. Oh, he likes jokes. Good. What do you know of his associate, the Archon Siren? Siren is the Archon of Song, one of the youngest of her rank. She can influence human emotion with her voice alone. Voices may be the conductor of the chorus, but I'd argue Siren is their best weapon. Voices put her talent to good use. You had her singing a song up and down the coast, so the tearsmen defected to the chorus in droves. Do you know anything about the voices' powers? No scholar of sorcery, but as I understand it, the voice of Narad is a thief of minds. They say he can swipe your thoughts and make them his own. I don't know how it works. When I was recruited into this favor, the Iron Marshal told me never to take an audience with the voices if I didn't have a witness on hand. Okay.
Good.
Okay. Now I can talk to this guy. Frickin' bards. That's right. Lantry stops his stride, darting his hands about his bandolier and belt as he softly mounts off a mental inventory of his ink and quills. When at last assured his possessions are in place, he looks up at you with a smile. What might I do for you? If you're going to be traveling with me, I need to know more about you. Old man. It's an understandable request. Let's see. Born in Sunder? No kids? What few longings of fatherly love have gotten my heart satisfied by taking care of carrier birds. Learned my sigils and spells about 30 years back. Being able to defend myself has opened a life of field study. Haven't grown tired of the wandering just yet. Yeah, Diamond says, hi Lantry, it's time to find out what makes you reprehensible. Written on all manner of subjects, magic, birds, language, geometry, but my main focus has been chronicling. I find there's no finer pursuit than recording the events of our times. There will always be legends of what happened. Someone ought to be making note of the real thing. Aside from that, I don't know. I practice centric stance, draw portraits, make my own inks, and have a sharp aversion to autobiography. I'm about as boring as watching coral grow. How'd you wind up here in Vendrian's Well? When the Vellum Citadel was set aflame by Curse's edict, I fled as fast as my hands would carry me. Every direction seemed a bad idea, but heading to Vendrian's Well seemed the least suicidal option. Mind you, I was laboring under the misconception that the Vendrian Guard had surrendered, and the fighting in the valley had stopped. Looking first at his left arm, then at his right, he reads through these sort of notes inked across his skin. Oh, if he's got, like, tattoo notes... Was that us? I feel like that was us, says Daimon. Yes, I'm pretty sure. That's the... We set the water school on fire. And we warned them ahead of time to let them evacuate. So I'm assuming that. Or I guess it wasn't the water. Was it not the water school? It was the Ink and Quill school. I don't know. It was a wizard place, and I'm pretty sure that's where we've met Ebb before, which is like we didn't actually meet her because he was just part of the delegation, and she didn't say anything. Um, Ebb, you know, the waterbender. God. He should have, like, if he's supposed to be covered in notes, I wish they were on his model, or his texture. So he says, yes, you did in fact burn his house down. Well, yes, 7th of sparring. That's when I crossed the mountains. That would be 2 days, 3 days after the Vendrian Guard jettisoned their surrender and claimed the citadel in the valley. Billy says it's tough to keep track of our characters' atrocities. It is. Although I guess he probably didn't live there anymore. Ed was elsewhere and is unrelated. When she talked to us, she said that she had met us before at the delegation. Like, at some delegation where we met with some of the water people. And she didn't say anything, but it was like she knew who we were. Did we not burn down the water mages thing? Too many things that I've yeah, too many atrocities. They're nomads. Huh. The Vendrian Guard nabbed me, and several other sages moved through the valley. The other sages were sympathetic to the Vendrian Guard. As for me, I just agreed so as not to get everyone killed. I think defying the Overlord is a really slow and stupid form of suicide. You enslaved their minds to Narat, right? That does sound possible, yes. That sounds correct. Billy says, well, are you maybe confusing this with an actual school you burnt? Sadly, that I've never burnt down an actual school. Yeah, so Lance is just like, oh, I was always on your guys' side. They press ganged me. So tell me about your work with the Oathbreakers. Well, the Vendrian Guard has several nobleborn in their ranks, and they know their letters. Problem is, they've come from noble houses scattered across the realms, each with their own private script. This is where the sages and I come in. Between us, we're familiar enough with all the regional scripts to translate and coordinate. But translating is child's play, so I might have helped out a bit more. The old citadel at the center of the valley is a crumbling affair, and there's no time for proper construction. It seemed a crime not to put my magic to work. So you provided military aid to the Oathbreakers. When the servant of the Archon of Justice asked me that question, I can't help but assume it's the antecedent to some sort of punishment. I can't deny that I assisted the Oathbreakers, but the alternative was to starve in a cell and maybe lose my head. I realize this is an offense to the Overlord, but it's not like I increased the odds of winning in any significant way. So you're an expert with fortifications. Hardly, but I'm an expert on preservation magics. The same cantrips we use at the School of Ink and Quills, which are manuscripts against warps and decay, are in principle as applicable to stone as the art of parchment, plus or minus improvisation. And also apparently to flesh, given he's a healer. Well, intent matters. You were doing what you needed to survive. Until I decide to charge you with something. Well, I trust my future actions will show I mean to be of service, not a source of problems. God, he's got his fucking... the poses in this game are really good. That's like the best feature of this game. What did you learn of their plans in your time there? It won't surprise you to know that their strategy is largely non-existent. They cling to the hope that their example will inspire others in the tiers to come to the valley and join the cause. The recent inaction between the Archons has emboldened them, so you even think the Archons fear the Vendrian Guard. I'm sure they have it quite wrong. What else can you tell me about the Oathbreakers and their forces? The Vendrian Guard surrendered back in 429. While a lot of them were conscripted in the chorus, 3 of the leaders, Captains Ari, Matani, and Florian, never turned themselves in. Instead, they hid in the valley, gathering up what resources they could until they could challenge the local garrison. We've dealt with Matani and Florian, right? Darwin says, wait till you get to the romance scenes. The paper doll portraits of that are exceptional. At highest count, earlier in the year, they numbered over 400, their ranks swollen by the soldiers of Haven and Azure that survived the war. They're a dying breed, these Oathbreakers. Most of the Tears have finally come to realize that Kairos has already won. Before you ask, as a connoisseur of the inevitable, I have made my peace with the Overlord and bow to his might. How did you wind up a prisoner of the chorus? I had to send some missives, and that meant getting to a clearing where my turns and doves might find me. The patrol with me was ambushed by the Scarlet Chorus. I tried to flee the scene, but some youngster tackled me, and, well, out of one fire into another. That's been a running theme this year. Tell me about your magic. Oh, I don't much like to brag about things like that. I'm not asking you to brag, I'm asking you to tell me what you can do. Well, my major areas of focus have been preservation, concealment, and healing. Arts that have served me well in this newfound life as a peripatetic prey animal. Sages study all kinds of magic, but as a chronicler, I wanted magic that helped me see more, archive more, protect objects of historical value. Seeing as I feel like an old relic could use some protection, my skills suit me well. Can you teach me anything? Sure. I can show you how to blend your own inks, train birds to think you're their mom, how to turn a goat into parchment. I'm sure you'd prefer to learn some magic. I mean, turning a goat into... Oh. Like skinning it. I thought you were doing some polymorphing. If the school and ink and quill still mattered, I'd maybe be more tight-lipped, but if we're going to travel together, you should know how to mend wounds, especially if I'm killed. I know the edict still looms, but if you have a few hours, I could show you the basics of healing magic, or at least how I learned it. I'd be honored to learn a little of what you know. Rummaging through his satchel, Sage produces a long quill and a crumpled piece of parchment. 7 strokes of the quill, he inks a pattern on the page. We'll start with first principles. When mending wounds and easing pain, we invoke the magic of the Orphan Midwife, Archon of Rebirth. By invoking her sigil, we channel her mastery, however briefly, through our hands. Now trace the sigil, following the lines in the order I sketched them. What can you tell me about the Archon of Rebirth? Didn't realize you gave a care about your history. Well, the Orphan Midwife was born in 160, bowed to Kairos in 201. They say where she walked, plants would sprout, the sick would grow vigorous. She'd also send most folks into a fit of rage and animals into heat. Sounds like quite a riot. We know her magic by way of one of her first disciples, who migrated to the Tears in 222 to spread her wisdom, an act that happened to be illegal under Kairos. For that and a host of other transgressions, the Orphan Midwife has been imprisoned for over a century, or so the story goes. Follow his instructions. Since this isn't your first cantrip, I'll move a little quickly. I think you can keep up. Lantry walks you through the countless repetitions of assigning the mystic sigil. For hours you wave your hand in the air to no effect, till at last you sign the pattern in the air and feel a rush of power through your veins. Oh boy. Oh boy. And so you need to heal pain as opposed to... If you need to heal pain as opposed to purge an infection, you need your hound like so. But you know, that's enough for now. I think you can figure out the rest on your own. Kairos has a wizard prison. I mean, what self-respecting continental overlord doesn't have a wizard prison? Every cell is lead-lined. It's a bunch of, like, sigils of silencing and anti-magic spheres and... Tell me about the sages. For hundreds of years, the sages have been devoted to the collection and preservation of knowledge. We're scholars, bookmakers, archivists, students of the mystic and the mundane alike. The wisest of our guild, not that I belong in such that category, are versed in sigils and spellcraft. Or at least that's how it used to be. With the destruction of the Vellum Citadel, the sages have been scattered to the winds. They were once more sages than I could name, but many have died or been taken prisoner by Kairos' forces. Yeah, you understand the basics of medicine. You can figure the rest out on the job. Yeah, it's a you gotta learn as you go. Make mistakes. Who leads the school? I keep learning more names of those who died during the Edict of Fire, so my information could be obsolete. But with Sage Krevnik incinerated, Sage Renata would be the current provost. And if she dies, well, fuck, thanks to all the recent deaths, maybe I'll be next in line. Let's archive that away under things to worry about later. In truth, there isn't much guild left to lead. Our library fortress is in ashes, our membership is in disarray, and it doesn't help that we have something of a spotty reputation here at the Tiers, fear of magic being something of a local specialty. What's your role in the guild? I'm one of the chief writers of the Chronicle. It's our attempt to record the truth of all things and their proper secrets. It's an ongoing life work of generations of sages. I have the honor of witnessing history and having my vantage point be a matter of record. What does Kairos think of your Chronicle? What do you know of the Vellum Citadel? Landry scowls, his writing hand becoming unusually still. I once felt a rush of pride at that name. Now it's a blight on our reputation. Landry clears his throat, reasserting his smile. The Vellum Citadel was a beautiful sanctuary of the parchment and ink. We had massed knowledge from the Northern Empire to the coast of the Tiers. It took a score of lifetimes to learn all the Citadel could teach you. But the sages in charge of the Vellum Citadel thought themselves above Kairos' rules. The Overlord and the sages were copying and spreading lies and forbidden knowledge. Ah, that's what he thought about it. Kairos put an end to life at the Citadel with his Edict of Fire. Lantry stops, putting a hand to his face. All that knowledge set aflame. When we bind books, we bind them to last. Our most important tomes are warded against fire and other maladies. So many of the books are made intact as the shelf and floor melt away. I suppose it's still there if you want to brave the danger and certain death for it. It's good reason they call it the Burning Library now. He shrugs. Sages would not bow to Kairos, but you do. True, my peers can grasp many abstract concepts, but the subject of hopeless wars, their stupidity rises to idiotic splendor. Sages believe themselves the mightiest magical guild in the Tiers. They could even back that claim, but they mistook being the best for being a match for Kairos. How is it so many can study history and learn so little? I've studied Kairos and the Archons in great detail, enough so that I'm no longer blinded by fear of their magic, nor by envy of their special gifts. To my mind, it seems like nonsense to bow to a mere king or queen when one could serve Kairos, the living embodiment of rulership. Okay. We did it. Oh, okay. That's cool. I was wondering about that. So we did also get life. So we can... Storing touch. Oh, that's actually really good because that means we can now make this. It's 4% health. Oh, that's very, very little. Oh, but it is 3 projectiles. What? How does this work? Oh. Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Well, that would be neat. We definitely want to get some of that. Okay. Oh, let's go back and look at, not that. Oh, I guess we can look at it in here. When the Legion Souls killed the sages, I enslaved them as pages to the Archon of Song. Yes, I proclaimed the Edict of Fire. Yep. Yeah, this is the everything that we've done so far in like first person, which is a weird thing to exist. Since it's like Jack's Diary of Evil. Yep, that was me, all right. I don't know where the I'm not sure where it talks about the water benders. Which are not actually called waterbenders, right? Are they actually called waterbenders? I don't remember now. I was assuming that that was a joke. Are they like called like water shapers, right? Something very similar, yeah. Hmm. I don't see it, but it definitely happened. Oh, actually, I don't think we're leaving. I think that we're going and where's my freaking? Oh, it's on here. It's one of these tabs. Oh yeah. Okay. Speak with the Iron Marshal. Okay. Actually, gonna go check. Oh, okay. That's what I was curious about, is could we actually go back to the Scarlet Course camp? The answer is no. We're not welcome there. Or they're not there at all. Not, I mean, we're gonna have to march through there, so I'm assuming that they've left. Let us speak to the Iron Marshal Arrhenios. The time is upon us. Iron Marshal Arrhenios nods at you with a serene smile. We march on Veneran's Well to show the Tearsmen the price of insurrection. If you look at Ebb's loyalty tab, it might say why you met her before. That's true. She looks in either direction, surveying the movement of ironclad warriors readying for battle. Kyrus's edict will soon come to bear, and we should move at once, Fatebinder, if you're willing. I could use your assistance. We are a tight-knit band, and while we are not outclassed, we are outnumbered. Will you march to battle with us? I'll join you for this battle, but I'm not amused by this little fight between armies. The Overlord brings peace. This sort of disorder runs against the harmony Kairos gives us. We will answer for our actions in due time, but for now, our survival hinges on taking Ascension Hall. Killing the Scarlet Chorus is self-defense by any measure. Our forces are assembling as we speak. We'll meet you at the Citadel. Graven Ash protects. She offers a firm salute, then turns to her troops. Okay. I guess we had to leave anyway. I thought it was going to take us there. Oh, was she at... I don't think that's where she was at. Maybe she was at that surrender. Oh, you helped deliver the Elders of the School of Tides. Yeah, so this is it. We did turn the School of Tides into the Voice of the Rat at some point. Also, did that say what they're called? It didn't. Alright. Time to go. Oh, it's nighttime. Great. Aqua Shaper. Where are my cats?
The Iron Marshal is just ahead of us. We should confer with her.
Is that Lantry?
Right.
It was. Hi guys. Who are those people? Yeah, this game keeps trying to show, it keeps like staging events in like big battles, and it does not have the resources to show a big battle. It's like the battle is like 4 people. Like, you probably should just not write your story in a way that demands that. Fatebinder, come this way. The Iron Marshal welcomes you with a clattering salute. The enemy left only pins of soldiers to slow our advance. The majority of the warriors are holed up within the citadel. Yogi's trying to lure them out. We have to bring the fight inside. The wall, she points north, is where the Earthshakers are focusing their magic. They cannot afford to be imprecise with their tremor sigils with the spire so close, and we need to contend with the defenders' mages if we're to crack the perimeter. How can I help? The enemy sages are working with some sort of protective magic that's keeping the wall held together. I need you to silence this resistance. Head east and secure a way over the wall. My troops aren't dressed for scaling. Kill the sages, the Earthshakers will clear the way, and then we'll meet you inside. Now go, for the glory of Chloris, with the glory of Kairos. If you're wounded in battle, come see me. Okay. I guess you can rest with her, basically. Okay. Oh, hi. Who are you? An outrunner.
Another battle.
Not a problem, boss.
Wait, what? Oh, is it just because you're in? That's why. There we go. Let's see, how's this guy doing? Barely injured, okay. Oh yeah. Launch her into the air. Interesting, right, and then we have that. I'll do it after my own ability goes off.
Can't do that.
You see what I see?
Okay. Let's launch her. Oh, it doesn't show up for me now. It's just on her, I guess. Compared to the other abilities. Rosa, what are you doing? Rosa does this thing sometimes where she climbs up on the bed and stands on the back corner of the bed that is in the corner of the room, and she stares up at the corner of the ceiling and just meows. She's just like, meow, meow. Just needs attention. Alright, let's throw her up in the air and see what happens. People think that's ghosts. Imagine this combo move like a hellish version of the final dance move from Dirty Dancing. Hi, Scoobing. I'm pretty sure that is exactly what it is.
Wait,
let's do it.
Nice.
I like that it has range. We don't have to be next to each other to do it. Amazing.
This is useless. I should try.
Oh shit. Okay. I don't really know why they're decided that they need to do this, but that's fine. Oh good, my all my stuff reset.
You got it. Right.
Wow, some other guy didn't die from that?
Fuck is wrong with my weapon?
Words would cause more harm than this useless.
Right.
Ooh. Magic boots. Let's look at the magic boots.
On it.
Yeah. Let's get us some subterfuge.
Would you take a look at that? On the lookout.
Not you. Do you have 36 subterfuge? Yes, you do. Oh.
Ain't that odd?
Alright, I will order myself to do it. I need subterfuge practice, not you, Barrack.
Will do.
Hey guys, how's it going? Let's see here. Soldier, archer, honor guard. Alright, let's start with this guy.
Send them.
Start with this.
Mat me in wave.
Oh god.
Can't do that. You got it.
Jesus, did she get crit? No. Why is she so hurt all of a sudden? Oh, she got hit, I think, twice. No. Oh my god. You just... Okay, he's fine though. She probably needs some healing. Okay, he could actually use some healing as well.
Fall before me!
Are you afraid of death? Worm.
Oh, keep attacking, you dumbass. Alright, there we go.
I'm not dead yet.
I'll take care of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works too. Ouch. We still have our, we do. Wow.
We can do this!
For the queen! Good work. Right.
Alright, that's good. Did she resist it? Oh. No, you critted it. What? Oh. It's different. Okay. It's a different effect. Oh. It's not the paralyzed thing. Okay.
You got it. I'm on it.
I'll do it for the North.
Alright. We
Not
did
afraid
it.
of heights. I just
Look at that.
need a foothold to get over that wall.
Javelin. Pungent odor, huh? Guess we can go check out what the other side is. Oh, there is more over here.
What have we here?
See that? We should take a close.
So save some of these guys.
Will do. I'll tear your skeleton out by.
Oh, once per rest. I didn't realize that that's not once per encounter. Oh, okay.
For the glory of Kairos!
What? Oh, that's Spectral Blur. Spectral Blade. Improved Spectral Blade. Oh, we can't do it. We can't heal allies. We can only heal party members. Kind of annoying. Yeah,
No,
this
sorry.
is one spring encounter. Okay, interesting.
Take that!
I need to try a different weapon.
Time to change weapons.
This is useless. I should try something else.
I've had far worse.
You idiots. Oh, we have the maximum number of camping supplies. Greater healing potion. Wait, wasn't there a trap over here? You guys just run over that as well? Okay. Let's kill these guys. Oh shit. Really? Really? That's what you decided you need to do?
I got it.
Give me the sweet loot.
They won't see me coming.
Alright. So we need to go down this way. And hope those guys don't run after us. Oh wait, no, we need to get down. So we do have to go around this way, I guess. Oh boy. Hi everybody. Please attack.
Can't do that.
Oh, Lantry leveled up. That's nice. It's really weird to have a game where my character, your PC is not the generally the first character. Whoops, leveled up. What was the button I was trying to push?
Sorry, I can't. Get out, you little shit.
Okay, I need to move so that. Ouch. Please heal thyself.
They won't see me coming.
Good. I hope I can actually attack you from here. I can also go in here and look at what you need for leveling up. I mean, your health's not actually that bad, is it? It's not the worst it could be. I guess that's because you have a level, extra level. Probably though, you just want more wits. So what were we doing here? We got this one. We want. Honestly, these aren't super exciting. But I think his other stuff was also not exciting. The ability to decipher ancient languages. Oh, that seems like he needs that. Gain bonus experience and a bonus. Oh shit. Sounds like we need this actually. Yeah. Oh, we have a new. The Archons informed me that the recapture of the Citadel from Vendor and insurrectionists continues apace. They wrote me separately of their divergent tactical intentions engenders no small concern, but I trust now in your efforts. May your good judgment see you through the coming confrontation with glory and success, and back to the safety of our court. Express concern. The bird finds me on the road to conflict and bloodshed, and I cannot but wonder at the wisdom of the decisions and acts that brought us to this point. I would not question the Overlord's will, but I find myself divided. The edict comes to pass, and I never see your court again. Agreements we forged. No, wait, what? What? I said go back! I hit go back! Okay, I guess it's fine.
Not a problem, boss.
I am a shield.
No, stay. Stay.
Myself.
Children. Wait, what? What the fuck am I doing?
On it.
Can't do that.
Wow. Does Quill Strike just suck? Is Quill Strike dead? Oh, it interrupts. That's what it's for. Okay. I thought it was just like a damage ability. I guess it's mostly for
Bleed out, you little shit.
So if someone's like attacking a spell, or, casting a spell rather.
On it.
It's literally throwing a feather at someone. How good is it likely
Won't
to be?
happen.
Look. Seems like real video game shit.
Downwind of our enemies.
I don't question it. Hey, mages. Mages, meet murder dads.
You got it. Right. I'm not here to make friends.
I fucking love I'm not here to make friends. I'm so happy that she says that. Let's stop that fireball. That seems bad.
You got it.
Lantry? Oh, you interrupted for 1 second. Wow. That does not seem very good. Gonna have to be honest with you, buddy. Alright, well, we stopped the fireball, though, still. So, guess it was good enough.
I'll take care of it.
I got it.
Yeah! Crack that wall! Oh yeah, that looks good. Oh, just a sec. If there's fighting going on, I'm sorry that I'm not able to pause. Guess what time it is? It's cat time. Okay. Fear nothing, for the Legion has your back. Barrick, why are you stealing my fucking experience? I'm gonna have to like micromanage who opens these fucking chests, which I really don't want to do. Alright, what do you need, buddy? You need damage. You need... maybe that. No, we're not usually adjacent to you. 40% sealed effectiveness. I don't know what shields do. Also, we're not using shields with you right now, so. We're actually not engaging that many enemies. So I was thinking that would be really useful, but. Normally it's useful. Why does it always say stolen? It's not actually stealing armor from enemies, right? Doesn't seem like it. Honestly, we might just get this. Oh, the Scarlet Chorus are also attacking at the same time? Fatebinder. No. Objective is like get to the courtyard before the Scarlet Chorus do. If we were both gonna be able to make it on our own, without helping each other, I mean, I guess kind of helping each other because they're splitting their defenses, but like.
On the lookout.
Oh, alright. Is this them? Oh, there's the fire. Then the what is it that comes? The fire the fire people? I don't know what they're called. I don't know what the line is. Okay, now don't fight each other. Stand aside. Ascension Hall is ours alone for the taking. Thank you, chat. Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Thank you. The fifth eye swings his spear in broad arcs as he roars in his crackling tenor. Withdraw at once before you feel the weight of 1,000 chorus blades and bludgeons. No sooner would a family of maggots beat a pack of wolves. The disfavored commander beckons the Scarlet Chorus forward. Come, I'll take you 5 at a time just to make things fair. So, about the edict. Fifth eye, more like dead guy. Wow. The commander looks back at you and gestures north. We'll stall them. You make a break for the inner sanctum. I mean, we have like 5 days. Like, that's not... okay, bye. They don't care anymore. I know. They're dumbasses. They're here! They've breached the perimeter! They're in the keep! Uh-huh. They just keep falling back. This all seems bad.
I got it.
This seems like a trap. That's what I'm gonna say. It seems like they're gonna blow up the keep. You're in weaponry and armor. They're not actually here, other than the people we're killing. Is if you spend 6 days waiting before proclaiming the edict, you get a whole year? How do you get a whole year? It makes the dialogue funny.
I'll be your shadow.
I don't get it. So if you miss that day, it's just like, well, until next year? Until next year's Day of Blades? Day of Swords? But then why wouldn't it just carry over to the next year again? I mean, if it carries over on one, the year wasn't specified. It seems really hard to even use up this much time. Okay. The Day of Swords hasn't happened since the edict was proclaimed. Right? I mean, you have to wait 6 days before reading the edict. What? No, we already read the edict. We have read the edict. It is magically binding us already. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Okay, if you wait to proclaim the edict, I missed that part. Okay, gotcha. I missed. Okay, I just missed the beginning, like the actual. I didn't understand the actual start. Gotcha. I understand now. If you wait to actually read it, so you go around and spend 6 days, or whatever, 8 days. Yes, I gotcha. No, I know you're talking about the Easter egg. I just didn't. I literally did not understand the beginning part that Sophie said. I was thinking, yeah, okay. I thought the Easter egg was if you actually go till 6 days, because like, or you go to the Day of Swords rather. Anyway, I was just confused. I understand now. This is the one guy that's gonna run forward, so I guess we'll hit him. So.
Consider it done.
That is interesting. I get it now.
I will aid you.
You will fall.
Are you afraid of death?
So if you instead rest till the day before the Day of Swords or whatnot, have you fucked yourself? Presumably, yes. I mean, you could just rush, you could just not do the side quests, I guess, and you could probably just rush to it. Yeah, that seems like a bad time. What's this? Oh, right, that's what that is. No, I didn't tell you to do that. I didn't tell either of you to do that.
Can't do that.
You're gonna have to heal yourself. Position.
On it.
I'm immune to being poisoned. I'm not actually sure why, but I am, so suck it.
You are fit.
Alright, kill the archer.
I will aid you.
Kill the mage. Let's stop that ball lightning, or try to. Nope, the ball lightning was not stopped, but it didn't actually matter. good.
I'll be
No
your shadow.
loot? No loot? Fire in the mess hall still burns. Plates of silverware line the tables. Room hasn't seen combat for generations. Veteran guard will never be the same after this battle. I mean, well, yeah, because either they're gonna die or they're gonna lose.
I am a...
Right.
I'll take care of it.
I'm not dead yet.
No, now you're dead.
You see what I see?
Bronze throwing dagger. Light leather gauntlets. Does anyone not have light leather gauntlets that needs them? Where'd they go? Precision. Precision is like crit chance.
I got it.
I'll stay
Jeez.
downwind of our enemies.
Oh my. Variah Kell. Hi. Who are you? Oh, you're from the Scarlet Chorus, huh? That's interesting. So we're gonna have to fight you, but I guess let's fight these guys first.
Look at that. Right.
Oh great. Unlocked Avengerian Guard ability from them hating me so much. It's very important.
As you command.
I will aid you.
Oh, he rhyme spiked me! Piece of crap. How dare you? How dare he? She's the spy you sent in. Oh,
See that?
right.
I'm not entirely useless.
I forgot about her. Okay, that makes more sense. Scroll. I want to scroll. Yes,
That
me
wasn't so
unlock
hard.
it. Give me subterfuge. Arcane glyphs adorn the scroll. Scatter the table. Finish the sketch the stage's hand. Those written on crude parchment in the valley. A collaboration between two normally separate rebel groups. Please give me the scroll. Sigil of Force. What does that do? To push energy, to push and knock enemies to the ground. Concussive bolt. Gives the dazed affliction, which is basically reduces their action speed. That seems good. Who also has a small AoE that also dazes. Need an AoE. Yeah, I need an area of effect sigil. What is the 12 to 21? This is probably better than that. Because Frozen is not actually that good, I think. Well, that's weird. This seems like it actually freezes people. Whereas this was different? Huh. I haven't seen you use Frozen Grasp. Yeah, Frozen Grasp is such a short range. I do use it, but not that often because it's very short range. I think this is better just for having it be close up or longer, the same range as the other spells. I prefer to be at a distance. Just like in every game. Alright, what is this? Unnerving Presence. Enemies within 3 meters of me, so that's not going to happen very often. Take a -2 accuracy. We do also have this, though, and we have bonus precision against them. Oh, I guess bonus precision against everyone.
Can't do that.
They won't see me coming.
So I guess we'll probably have to have a conversation first. Well, actually, unclear. They're just gonna attack, or what's gonna happen here? Fight harder, don't give up. I guess maybe once we start the fight, she will turn. Just gotta keep her alive. Sage, okay. Just gotta be aware of what's here. Yep. As you approach the company of the veteran guard, you see Variah among the honor guard and Sun soldiers. She flashes you a look with a slight nod. Offer a subtle nod to Variah in return. Then she locks her eyes on a nearby soldier. She draws her weapon to the shock of everyone around her. Is that a shock that she's drawing weapons as the enemy approaches?
Another.
Did she just murder that lady? I guess I wasted my arrow, but... Alright, well, time to kill this guy. He made a bad decision. I'm pretty confident in saying. Now I would have been fine using that ability, though. Ouch. That hurt. That did hurt. Please attack him. I'm trying to decide what to do here. Oh no. Wait for it. Okay. Now I want to do this, and I want to run away. That's fine. Oh, I didn't actually... I thought this was the other... God darn it, I get these two fucking abilities confused.
Wake me up when it's over.
Fuck! You pieces of shit! I did not realize she was that low! That's really annoying. Well, we'll see if we can win this without that, but that's a real pain in the butt. Because I don't have the revive. I didn't get it. I didn't think that I needed it. I just figured I need to...
Will do.
Keep your filthy hands.
Please. Stop trying to kill me.
I'll take that.
Right. I can't
What are you doing?
move.
Please kill him. I don't think this is gonna be working, but
On it.
oh my god.
Consider it done.
On it.
What? Why did he not? Oh, he got it triggered on himself. That's what happened. Okay, that's fine, I guess.
Will do.
Jesus. Oh boy. Barrick's taking a pounding there.
You learn something every day.
Take me if you can. Grovel before me. I will aid you.
Oh good, I leveled up. I don't like this color for force. It looks like it's grayed out,
I got it.
but it's just kind of a dull gray.
I require needle and thread.
Consider it done.
There we go. Alright. Welcome back, Verse. We managed to
Right.
make it. What happened to our lady? Did she die? I kind of wasn't paying attention. But do. Leadership. Where's my that's what it is. Okay. Second verse, same with the first. Oh, she died like immediately. Okay. Oh, that's why I didn't notice. Removes a random hostile effect. Interesting. Thrust is not great. Will of Command plus 15% damage. That seems okay. Decent AoE. Because I'm trying to get to this. Okay, everybody. Oh, did Verse not level up because she was dead for that fight? Is that what happened?
They won't see me coming.
Oh, hi, everybody. Oh, hi, Ab. No, no, that's not how we attack. That's not what attacks look like, guys. We sneak up, we fire arrows. Peacebinder, you are the face of the enemy vanguard. Kairos works in mysterious ways indeed. I hope you aren't here to hammer out another truce. We're all out of talk, but we still have a little fight left for you. Before you stands Captain Tarkus Ari, de facto leader of the dwindling Vendrian Guard. Short, sunburned, and agitated even when standing still. Her body is a compact sculpture of muscle and bone, and her face is short on symmetry, thanks to the scars and dents of a dozen brushes with death. Though your lives will certainly end here in Ascension Hall. She chortles, pointing upward to the ceiling, its stone arches somehow supporting the massive weight of the spire overhead. Consider yourself fortunate. Some of the finest rulers of Apex met death by duel in this hallowed hall. Truly, there's no finer place to settle an intractable feud. Sisters, brothers. Ari looks back at her cadre of soldiers with a solemn nod. It's been a privilege to lead, and an honor to share in your final days. Taking a deep breath, she turns to you, waiting silently. You're bringing a lot of magic to fight directly beneath the spire. Trying to bury us all? Just what sort of inbred fool are you? Hell yeah, an honorable duel, yeah. That's a risk I'm willing to take. The sage to her side emits a nervous cough and glances up with a concerned gaze. After a short moment of hesitation, the sage runs for the exit. Yeah! Get out of here, buddy! Get back here! Ari shouts at the fleeing sage. There's no avail. What was I thinking, bringing cowardly scribes to a sword fight? Eb was right about the lot of you. Sisters. Okay. What did you hope to gain from your rebellion? Nothing we haven't already gained. Our pride, our dignity. These things you can never take from us. She smiles, her eyes distant for a moment. I think they can take those from you, actually. The Vendrian Guard could never stand against all of Kairos' forces, but we can teach others to resist. Maybe we'll run out of soldiers before we run out of stubbornness. I doubt it. You would consign your whole realm to death because of pride. And you would kill us for not bowing to your banner. I will not let some servile bully lecture me on the subject of pride. I mean, it's not really my decision. I'm just the bootlicker. Sounds like you could stand to learn something about humility. It's a good thing you won't surrender. If you were a conscript, I'd whip you to death. Seems your uprising amounted to nothing but dead kinsmen. And what did taking Vendrian's Well cost you? How many disfavored corpses rest in the valley? How many choirmen fell to our blades? How goes the endless battle of the Blade Grave while you deal with us here? Oh, what remains of the realm of Stalwart? It's an endless battle, apparently. Is it the Blood War? Ari laughs, wincing as she clutches her side. And tell me, are the Archons unified in victory? Did the armies bond in camaraderie over our deaths? Our stand here is the first of your problems. How did you know the Archons were feuding? We're hopeless, not witless. Our eyes and ears tell us much. Ari covers her mouth, stifling a smile. I'll die happy knowing your invasion will grind to a halt as the two Archons tear each other over to pieces over the title of victor. Perhaps my only regret is not living to see which child king will win. If you're so eager to fall in my blade, stop prattling, come at me, or are you gutless as well? Any last words? Yes. A broad smile comes over Ari's face. Tell the voices of Narad we are most thankful for his aid. We would not have made it this far without his support. I mean, if that's a way to go out, it's just to absolutely fuck with your enemy. That's a, yeah, that's a plan, alright. Okay, babe, let's go, guys. You assume that's a bluff. I mean, yes, I assume it's a bluff. I don't like that we're not in formation.
Come at me,
Okay, again. What is going on? Why? So annoying. So annoying. What? I am drowning. For 40 seconds. What the fuck? Ebb is pretty strong. Evidently.
I will aid you.
You're supposed to be firing. You're supposed to be running away.
I got it.
Okay. Granted, Lantry, you're kind of useless if you can't get spells.
Not a problem, Bob.
Alright, I guess we're attacking you.
On it.
Ouch. Oh, I guess you can still... Oh, you just can't cast these specific spells. Right, okay, well, cast that on yourself then. You weren't paying attention. Graven Ash's son was captured by the Veteran Guard, and then Narat had his soul. I knew Narat had his soul. I thought that they just thought he was captured, and I assumed it was just that it was actually the chorus. Because it didn't occur to them that that is what would have happened or something. I didn't really remember all the details we were given, but yes, I do. I mean, I know that that's what the final, like, the thing that actually pissed Graven Ash off enough was when his son spoke.
I'll do it for the North.
Can you just attack? Okay, never mind. Just attack normally. Oh, he's poisoned now as well. I mean, Lantry's just fucked here, but that's fine. He's, Alright, just heal me before you die. I'm not really hurt, but...
On your... I can't feel my...
Alright. I guess we'll take the archer, because the archer is probably weaker.
Right.
Alright. Hi, Ebb. Sorry.
Right.
You're unfortunately
Right.
not where... Okay, that's cool. But unfortunately, there's not a lot you can do 3 on
Graven
1.
Ash protects.
Oh, Oh, she goes down on a knee instead of dying. You worthless gnats. Oh, you're also on a knee. Okay, all the important people on a knee. We may die, but others will follow our example. Mark my words. The captain coughs up blood. You've bested their leadership. Most impressive. Remind me never to underestimate the skills of a fate binder. Sure, sure. That's a legitimate option. Me and what army? Because they have an army. I mean, would that just be siding with the chorus, basically? Because, you know, like, going back, I mean, it just seems like that's, it seems like a very silly option. Because there's no way for you to hold this. I don't understand how it could be a thing you can do. We have 4 people. Like, there's no one else. It just seems like a death warrant. Also, does that... I guess the forces of Kairos still hold the Ascension Hall. Maybe Ebb would like to lend a hand. I assume Ebb needs to recover from getting beat to shit. But, you know, 5 people doesn't really make a difference versus 4. I think we'll just play nice for right now because that seems very silly. It's a whole 25% better. Oh, that's... if you're not, you know, counting the other side, if, you know, I think the relevant ratio would be the relevant percentage would be like the ratio of our forces to theirs, and it's really not gonna make a big difference in that. Honored to have had a hand in the glory, sir. We'll play nice with them still. And your help was pivotal. Graven Ash will soon be hearing an earful about your skill and courage. Rending Edge, okay. Shattered menace of comet has finally ceased. Ascension Hall is for a moment tranquil. May pox take your children. Ari slumps to a crouch, her body trembling from injury and fatigue. But those words of defeat, the burning hum you've heard in your head for days on end, tapers off into nothing. Your mind returns to a state of quiet you have not felt since before you proclaimed the edict upon Vendrian's Well. I'll say nothing for right now. I love to say nothing. You feel a tug in your chest as warm energy begins to form around you. Before you know it, you feel as if you are lighter than air. Oh! We got an achievement for completing Act 1. Wow! Look at me! Oh boy! Hi, Fiona! You're just in time for this. Whatever this is. Oh, we got teleported. And Ebb got teleported with us for some reason. Oh, we're on top of the spire. You would appear to be the chosen one. Who would have guessed? I don't know what kind of chosen one we are. It's Super Saiyan. That seems more accurate. We got another achievement. You blink away the last of the luminescent trails in your vision. The masonry of Ascension Hall is replaced. Proofreading, come on. Then a wide open space in every direction, save for the slab of ancient stone beneath your feet. High winds shove you, pushing you off balance. The air is cool and thin, unsatisfying to your lungs. Nice little music track here. Is this? Lantry looks out to the horizon, wide of excitement. Yes, this must be the mountain spire. When was the last time? Lantry's eyes look down over the ledge, dumbstruck by the vertical plunge. Lantry backs away from the edge. I may need to retch. This is certainly a change. Wind ruffles the feathers in her hair, and Verse quickly smooths them down. Damned cold chains. She peers over the edge. Think I could land on my feet if I jumped? Not that it would matter for long. Kairos be merciful. What now? Barrick spins around on his feet, looking about, trying to take in as much as he can through the narrow visor of his helmet. Now activate Eagle Vision to map the region, says Billy. Yeah. Synchronize. Every way you look, mountains rise up along the distant horizon. The rivers and forest below bring to mind maps of Vendrian's Well, and you quickly trace the Mittani, the Urinev, and all the numerous waterways of the region. Higher than you imagined it. This is indeed the pinnacle of the spire at Vendrian's Well. How did we get all the way up here? Ari strains to stand up, clutching her side. Another question. Oh, I didn't realize that you came with us. How in the name of Graven Ash do we get down? The Iron Marshal walks to the edge, trembling, a half pace backward, as she peers downward. The warriors below must be sensing the edict is ended. We should be down there, by their side. Much as I would relish the opportunity to fight along the disfavored right now, I cannot begin to imagine the chaos unfolding beneath our feet. Barrick clenches his fist with a squeal of metal and turns away. Enough bloodshed for one day. I demand all blades sheathed. That much sounds sensible, at least. If we're to understand what just happened, we need to drop anchor on this battle and regroup. But what of the chorus? We can't just... The Iron Marshal holds up her hand, lowering her head. You're right. We should regroup, save what warriors we can. The chorus is better handled when we are at full strength. Send word to Graven Ash that we're successful. So that was a worthy battle. Not since Stalwart have I seen such courage, such determination. Oh, but the siege needed use hands ago. Agreed, and I'd be honored to deliver your auspicious message in person, but... She points down over the ledge. Holy sh... God. This game is very creative with ways to be a horrible person. I'm trying to think of what... somebody's done that in a movie or something. I just don't remember, but I can remember... I remember the scene, but I don't remember what it was. I think the blast from the magic from the spire and the edict's end should have been clear to everyone. Graven Ash will want to know you're safe. Go through that portal and report to Graven Ash, then return to me with any news. Oh, it's a portal. To just go back down? But I know that, but nobody else knows that? Because everyone else is like, how do we get back? I'm like, go through the fucking portal, idiots. But I could just kick her off for fun. No telling how stable it is, but look closely and you'll see images of Ascension Hall in the haze. Well, if you have trained eyes, that is. Of course, even if it's not stable, the alternative is jumping, so what do we have to lose? Oh, how did I not notice that? Yes, how did you not notice that? Portal's shimmering contours glimmer the moment you call out its presence. Assuming this takes me back to Ascension Hall, I'll carve a pass to Ash and let him know the score. With resounding clatter, Arrhenius beats her breastplate in salute. Glory to Kairos. Salute, I guess. Thank you for being the edge of our battle. We've been shorthanded ever since we took the Gates of Judgment, and these Oathbreakers fight well above their station. Without you and my vanguard, this would have been a bloodier day. There's no telling if we would have seized Ascension Hall in time. I mean, bloodier day, yes. 6 days longer? Probably not. Telefrag the Archon. Oh man. Veteran's Well is yours. Maybe if you had 2 armies. Hold it for the glory of Tunon. It would be wise for us to place court-held lands between us and the enemy. That way the chorus cannot fortify around us without giving offense to the Archon of Justice. Okay. So you got all these opportunities to claim it, and I took none of them. And she's finally like, you should probably take it. Naret's treachery means war. I trust you'll be able to rely on your continued support in the coming trials. No doubt. I'm the very definition of an enemy of the Overlord. Wait. Oh, okay, sorry. Thought she was responding, but she's not. No doubt I'm the very definition of an enemy of the Overlord. I didn't just resist, I led others into resistance, so I know what's about to happen. But I know when I've met my match, and like most folk, I'll do whatever it takes to live. If you show my mercy, I'll pledge my fate to you, good fight bander. Wow! You are a coward! The Tidecaster. Or you're, working an angle, which is probably more likely given what we've seen of you so far, but you don't really seem like the Lantry type. Tidecaster bows on one knee, lowering her gaze. I know I'm an oathbreaker, so my word isn't what it used to be, but I promise if you spare me, I'll serve you well. Why would I possibly trust you? Because I'm all out of reasons to fight you. The Vendrian Guard and the School of Tides are no more, leaving me with no loyalties or ties to, well, anyone. It was all about Kairos' minions eventually, right? I would die before swearing fealty to the voices of Narat, and Graven Ash would kill me in a heartbeat. If I'm to serve anyone in this new order, it should and must be the Archon of Justice, and you're the only servant of Tunon I can think to ask. Chuck her off, says Daimon. I am the very model of a modern awful overlord. Like, we had to wait till the end of New Vegas to throw anyone off of a giant precipice. We gotta get this started early in this game. If I let you live, I'll regret it, won't I? My fighting days are over. If you let me go, I'm gone. Gone from this battle, gone from the tears. I'll never harm another servant of Kairos for the rest of my hermit life. Oh, so you just let her go, which is interesting. I wonder if she actually comes back, or has an involvement, or if she does just disappear. I mean, it says she'll just disappear, so that's kind of her. What would my price be for my mercy? I mean, I'm already enslaving her. Serve me well, and all can be forgiven. If you'll have my fealty, it is yours. I, Ebb of the Tidecasters, do hereby pledge my life and loyalty. She dips her in a formal bow. I will serve and obey you, as so long as you have need or want of my skills. I don't know why we can't have all of you, but... I mean...
I will return to our holdfast at once.
I guess right now... Marcus, anything you want to say at this point? Yeah, she's just like... You'd think she would have something to say about that, but... Maybe she's in on the scheme. We don't need 3 mages, do we? Maybe we do need a party of 3 mages. That actually might be the party. Vendrian's Well has fallen. For the second time since conquest began, Kairos' armies take the citadel from its defenders. With your help, the Vendrian Guard rebellion has been crushed. You claimed Ascension Hall with your disfavored allies, satisfying the terms of Kairos' baleful edict. You and the forces of Kairos are free from the Overlord's death sentence. A New Game Plus was all mage and gets silly. There's a New Game Plus in this game? That is interesting. Well, I was just thinking, like, because mages effectively get a bunch of extra abilities based on how many spell slots they have. Like, isn't being a mage just better because you basically get bonus abilities? I mean, assuming your stats are obviously worse, are supposed to be worse to match that, but it just kind of seems good. So what does this screen look like if you try to claim it by yourself? Like, how can you hold it? You have no army. Sometimes an army is just 4 guys. With the threat of execution no longer looming overhead, the Overlord's armies turned their attention away from the Citadel and toward each other. The tensions that flared over the long siege reached an explosive crescendo as the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus armies clashed iron and bronze in a hasty, disorganized battle. Also, how have they never, like, have they not fought at all up to this point? It seems like they're constantly at each other's throat. It seems like there would just be fighting between them fairly regularly. As his forces were cut down, the voices of Narat and his officers escaped to the Stone Sea, leaving the conscript army to carry on their battle against the disfavored. In the aftermath, the disfavored broke camp and withdrew their forces to the Blade Grave. The Blade Grave, aka Stalwart. They were to regroup and prepare for the extended campaign against the Scarlet Chorus. Isn't the Blade Grave just a constant, like, magic storm? That seems like a bad place to be. Having taken Veteran's well for yourself, Archon Graven Ash recognized your lawful claim to rule and occupy the spire. I mean, I really didn't take it for myself, but I guess I got given it. Also, fucking his fucking, like, his chest just makes me laugh. It's very silly. As days passed, the wounded and injured were nursed to health. You explored your strange bastion and planned your next steps with careful deliberation. Oh, I'm sure I was very careful and deliberate. As word spreads that the Scarlet Chorus and Disfavor turned on each other, factions once resolved to bend the knee are inspired instead to continue fighting. Great. The Archon's feud has heralded the collapse of Kairos' offensive. Is it an offensive? We already conquered all this territory. It was a rebellion. That's not an offensive. Tunon, the Archon of Justice, observes the chaos and discord spreading across the land. The Archon summons his Fatebinder to return to court at the Bastard City and report on her actions in Vendrian's Well. Oh, okay. Let's go talk to Tunon. Oh. What? Didn't we just pass a bunch of time? I'm very confused. Civil War. What a shame that it descended into this. Archon Ash will want to meet and discuss the next steps. Is this supposed to be later? But, like, we just happen to be in the exact same positions? This is very confusing. Best that you regroup in Iron Hearth. Regather your strength and regroup, but don't leave the Archon waiting. Send Ash my regards. The General has done much for me. I wish he was here to see this. Tell Ash that I will join him in due time. General's a patient man, but we're in the thick of 2 wars. I doubt he'll thank me for the message. See you in Iron Hearth. Yeah, well, suck it. Dizzying energy from the spire falters. Whatever force you awoke the powers that reside here gutters and fades, though a faint hum persists in the sculpture at the center. That's odd. There was a portal here a moment ago, but it seems to have vanished. I'm very... So is this later? Or is this the... Like, did we come back up here and the portal's been working the whole time? Or... I'm very confused by the chronology here. Look around for a solution. Humming from the curious sculpture pulses and builds in volume, as if to draw your attention. Lantry's just hanging out here like, oh, okay, I see how it is. I'll just hang out here by myself. Or out in the corner. I'll just go over to the corner. I'm not with the cool kids anymore. Are these fast travel points? Are you content to wander about looking for conversation? Because some of us want to head down to rejoin the troops. There's a war on, and we're missing it. I won't rest till the teleporter gets working again. I suggest you do the same. I take it you have questions! How do you think Ash will respond to the Civil War? With tact and coordination, the voice of Narad is chaotic, emotional, and baseless creature. Graven Ash is going to dismantle the Scarlet Chorus and wipe its leader from the face of Tyranus. Count on us. Tell me about yourself, Iron Marshal. Would you like to hit on me too? She blinks and shakes her head. Fatebinder, I'm the lieutenant who's going to start kicking people off this spire if I don't see the teleporter flicker to life. Now is not the time for me to rattle off accomplishments and hopes for the future. Save it for after the war. But she's really working that. What do you call it? Pose. I think that would be best. Them keep emphasizing that it's cold up here is interesting. I mean, it makes sense, but closer inspection, a series of symbols carved around the base of the structure come into view. Only on closer inspection? One symbol pulses with a blue-white glow. Yes. The pattern resembles the glowing lines of light seen on the floor of Ascension Hall moments before you find yourself transported above the clouds. As you stare at the symbol, the chill of the wind abates and your chest swells with warmth. The air finally feels welcoming, your lungs sated at last. You stake your claim to the tower and everything in it. Whatever that sculpture is, it belongs to you. I really didn't stake a claim. The marshal just said it was mine. The symbol of the croissant, yes. I could feel power running through this place. Ebb surveys the surroundings, her gaze sweeping the object at the center. You can sense the magic of the spire even from down below, but up here, this close to the axis of the spire, the deluge of energy is numbing. I feel dizzy. Do you feel dizzy? Barrick massages the brow of his helmet, causing a howl of grinding iron to echo across the expanse. What is this thing? The surface of the stone edifice trembles at your words. For a brief moment, the solid rock undulates, the same motion as a quiet pond rippled by rain. An echo bounces back from afar, your voice distorted and unfamiliar. Is this thing? Is this thing? Is this thing? Your voice. For a moment there, it sounded like song. The sculpture is once again still. There's a rush of warmth through your body, a joy of enervation that steadies your balance. A barrage of tactile sensation floods your mind as you feel footsteps and wind, but not on your face or your limbs. A moment later, the flood of information begins to make sense. You are feeling the wind against the spire, and even the weight of your own feet, as if the spire were a second spine. With this connection made, you feel your awareness pull from this place, not as a traveler, but as one glimpsing the world from impossibly far away. In this moment, there's nothing you cannot see, that you can see it nearly all at once in a flood of sensation that is difficult to parse. Ah, a world map. You see a spire at the crossing of an ancient stone structure, two walls extending off into the distance. At the base of the central spire, eternal spire, settlers and merchants act in every way unconcerned, toiling under the observation of unforgiving taskmasters. As the shadow of the spire falls over them, the mood changes. The settlers pause in shared unease and look up at the sky, towards you. Oh, I'm Sauron! I see you. Though you haven't seen it in person, you are certain that this is a vision of Lethian's crossing, for nowhere else have the tears been brave or desperate enough to settle at the intersection of bane-ridden old walls. Okay. Near the settlement, built at the joining of ancient walls, you see a breach in the massive masonry, a cleft into the forbidden, hidden realm within the old walls. Oh, well, let's go see what's in the old walls. Shadows envelop you, muting all sound and vision with slight delay. There's a feeling of perversion, of wrongness. Whatever arcane power is allowing your senses to drift free of your body seems to falter in this place. Excuse me. Oh. Figures haunt the stone walls. drifting emanations of cloud, claw, and fang. They pay you no heed, but you fear them all the same. In the depths of this forbidden place, the deepest chamber is bathed in light. An arcane symbol illuminates the floor, though the details hurt your eyes when you focus. Let's learn a spell. Or a teleporter. With a gentle tug, your focus pulls back to a new horizon, though it takes a moment to recognize it as Vendriad's well. You've returned awareness of your immediate surroundings. The effect leaves you unsteady on your feet. Drift closer to the spire. The spire feels similar to the one you now occupy, though instead of radiating arcane life, it reeks of dust and crumbling stone, a branch withering once pulled from its tree. It reaches for you with a barely perceptible tug. The link between you and the spire recedes. The arcane bond is still present, but the mystical energies, for the moment, are quiet. Your body is flooded with excitement and fatigue. It's unclear whether the mystic connection is strengthening you or siphoning. The tower offers nothing by way of answer, and you know that asking would only yield more silence and mystery. The deluge of sensation is over, but the positions of the other spires still linger in your mind. From your vantage point atop the mountain spire, you can easily spot the mysterious structures, each of them rising high above their distant surroundings. Okay. Strange. Ed curls her fingers and draws a quick sigil in the air, then studies how it fades. The magic of this place responds to you. The portal, the braziers, it all grows more vibrant when you approach. You know that asking questions of the stone tower will prove fruitless. Yeah. Before we get ahead of ourselves, it's worth remembering that you ended Kairos' edict. That's no small feat. Maybe your connection to the place is related. Either way, it sounds like something for the arcane-minded to investigate. Alright, well, good thing we've got 3 mages here. That's the insight that high lore gets you. Yeah. Be sure to see me after your audience with Tunon. We can't let the Scarlet Chorus gain hold in the tiers. Together we will wipe them from the land. Come to me as soon as you can, Fatebinder. We have a lot of work to do. Okay. Investigate the spires. Hey, Lantry.
At least in theory, I'm supposed to be observing history and not getting myself wrapped into it. All the same, this is the thrill of a lifetime. Rarely does one stand so close to monumental moments in the making. If given the choice between a multifaceted hive mind of treachery and a surly old soldier, General Grumps is the wiser choice. It's patently obvious which Archon is truly loyal to Kairos.
Sure.
So, I must ask, are you planning on taking sides in the Civil War? Or do you have other plans?
I'm a servant of the Archon of Justice. That much has not changed.
Dutifully spoken. It is Tunon's duty to arbitrate matters between the Archons, so this rift between Ash and Narat certainly falls under his jurisdiction. And here you are, thrust in the middle of the dispute. No doubt the mighty adjudicator will be relying heavily on you to get to the truth of the matter. Whatever you do next, consider that many eyes will be upon you, for you have both delivered and taken away the Overlord's edicts, and few will know how to make sense of the latter. You are an exception the Archons cannot afford to ignore. They will likely aim to control or destroy you.
Have you heard of edicts being broken before?
Most of Kairos' edicts were either worded to end in a manner of the Overlord's choosing, or the edicts have simply continued in perpetuity. That's not to say there haven't been stories of broken edicts. They're just uncommon. The oldest is, I think, Golbraith and the Edict of Sorrows, and that tale dates back to around the year 110. Aside from you, the most recent was the Edict of Twisting Grasses, back in 380.
And it's now 430 something?
In all these stories, Kairos' edict very clearly gives its victim a single way to escape, and someone manages it. What's never happened is the pure abatement of an edict, like using a spell of warding or cancellation.
Right. Okay. Noted. It's the 24th span of swords. It's 4 days after you captured the tower. Okay. Wait, wasn't the Day of Swords? No, I have no idea what the Day of Swords was, so I trust you. Or Kairos' day, right? Swords is the month, so it was Kairos' day is like a specific day, which I don't remember what it was. Well, these guys are... Oh, the Vendrians, huh. Interesting. I have lost all favor with the Vendrians. Disfavored. We get +1 resolve for party members near me. That's not particularly exciting. The implication is accurate here. Oh, the 20. Okay, you checked the video. The 20th Thunder fighting. Okay. Thank you. Oh boy, what's this? Not that useful to me. Good night, Fiona. The veterinary guard being mad you didn't side with him. I mean, yeah, I got it. That's what it says. Just seems like, I mean, you don't ever have the option to do that. Anyway, you have, you know, it's all just killing them in different means. The implication being you can side with them. Yeah, I mean, it kind of seemed like that, but I don't know where that would be, because at what point does that happen? Also, then everyone's gonna die. They send a letter. Uh-oh, of course they send a letter. Unless I count as Kairos's controlling under Kairos's forces, even though if you rebel, which seems seems like that doesn't really make sense. I feel like this game is not, I don't know. It's trying to do a lot of stuff, but it's very it's a technicality that gets used. Yeah. Yeah. That's fine. Tunan's court. Okay, great. Who is leveled up? Oh, you have leveled up. Also, do you? Oh, you have leveled up as well. Or rather, you get to level. What did we want for you? Quickness. What levels up bows? Oh, just might levels up bows. Okay. As well as, of course, this, but you don't really need that. I would rather just have you deal more damage. Wait, do you have more? Oh, that's just because of her. Okay, alright, but we found out the bows kind of suck anyway from looking at the tree. They're not very, there's not a lot you can do with them. We don't want that. That's not particularly great either. That wasn't particularly great. Right. Oh, they swear fealty to you, not the other way around. Okay, so you are technically still in service to Kairos. I mean, if they swore fealty to you, wouldn't that be the least bloody path? Because that would just end it immediately. Be like, okay. I don't know why they would do that, because they're like, we're gonna die rather. We would rather die than kneel. We will get everyone killed. Well, I guess we could kneel to you though. I want to know how much damage burning actually does. How much does the stun last? Oh, 6 seconds. That's pretty good. That's also actually not bad. Maybe burning is, or maybe archery is not as bad as I thought it was. This one is good though. I thought I had told him about the edict, but I mean, obviously I didn't do the other shit, I guess. But I don't know. Let's still try. I guess we can still try on the archery stuff because let's see, what was it? Oh yeah, it's not up till here. These are good. Requires 6 though. We're gonna have to find more shit to do in here. Okay, let's look at Ib. What has Ib got? She starts with title. Hey, she used that ability, but I guess we get to level up everything. She's probably good. Repelling blast, immobilized, push. Has very short range though. Mother's embrace is, yeah, drowning, which is just a silence, and damage over time, but mostly a silence. That does seem good though. Afflictions applied to Ebb have their, wow, 80% of, okay, so minus 20% duration. Alright. Bonus to frost damage. Okay. Conjure, okay. That's, Lantry has the same ability, but it's a different name. Powerful wave that repels. Eek. That's okay. Not taking damage, recovery time is reduced. She strikes twice the normal attacks. Ooh. That's pretty good, if we can manage it. Nearby targets are afflicted with drowning. Holy shit. Well, I guess that's not that useful, because how many spellcasters are going to be standing next to each other? Okay. Creates a thick fog that reduces enemy accuracy and grants a bonus to the party's subterfuge. I don't know what the benefit of having subterfuge in combat is. Maybe you can, I guess you can use it outside of combat. Ooh, bigger area of effect. Water for the target's blood and tissue. Uh-huh. Alright, that seems good. Arcane Missile. Control Gravelight. Sigil of Taratus. So that just deals some magic. Oh, but it bounces. Okay. It's alright. It's not great. Lift a target into the air and violently throw them into the ground. I like that. Cause each enemy in a cone. It's a big fucking area. To trigger an explosion of Gravelight energy, foes take arcane damage. A portion of their lost health is drained. Ooh. That seems cool. Ebb seems good. Ebb's presence. Only a 3. radius, but it gives frightened. Reduces will. More experience with lore, spells, and magic staves. Sure. Gravelet damage at night. Interesting. Since target midair, they can only be hit by range attacks, cannot attack, move, be stunned, or knocked down for 12 seconds. Seems good. She seems like she has two good. Oh. Oh. I was hoping that was Call to the Grave. I was like, animate dead? Wow, these all seem good. I guess this is not as good. Yeah, I think this is not as good. So we want to start with that seems great. That seems okay. It's a big cone. Do monster magic. We don't need that. Might want that actually. If we just have all mages, that seems like that might be good. There's definitely merit to just getting 1 point of this at least, because it seems like just completely destroying a spellcaster takes them out of the fight for 30 seconds. Might do that. Okay, so what do you want? Wits, obviously. Wits and Resolve is basically the spellcasting stats. Also, why does your outfit look like you're wearing the, like, New Vegas starting outfit? Feels like you should give Ebb at least one water spell. Well, she starts with a water spell. And I gave her another one. But look, she's got two things. She's got water spells, and she's got, I don't know, evil spells. That's what it looks like. I don't know what Grave Light is, but it sounds just like evil. Oh, here's a description. That's not a description. Okay. She's a Tide Caller, not an evil caller. Well, I don't know about that. Syzygy. Is that her weapon? That is her weapon. Is it ranged? It looks like it's not ranged. Oh no, range 8 meters. It is ranged. Okay. Tidecaster staff. Okay. Wow, and it can freeze people. She's just joined your team. Maybe she's trying to fit in. Yeah. Alright. Tidecaster's boots. Tidecaster's gloves. Tidecaster's garments. Alright, you need a helmet though. You need a helmet. Yeah. There you go. Would you prefer a sage's hood? Ooh. Well, that's all fancy. So there you go. Let's see, there's also this one. Nope, that's not one. That's not one. Okay. What about any of this shit? Nope, exactly the same. Nope. Tides of Darkness. Dark Tidings. Ooh. I assume that her 14 to 15. Yeah, I heard her, it seems like it does a lot of damage. What is mine? Why do I deal... Oh, because this thing has very high recovery. Gotcha. That's why. Okay. Alright. Also, we're gonna have to figure out how to do, like, party member shit. I don't know how to do party management. Well, I guess it might be on here. Oh, God! Base management. Oh. Interesting. Huh. Hmm. Well, these are kind of expensive. This has been a weird stream for pacing. Lots of talking, the big fight to end the act, and then lots of talking and party management. Yep. Oh, wow. This guy's expensive. And then here's some cheaper people. Well, a cheaper person. And then expensive. And then super expensive. A fate binder? We can hire another fate binder? Smith? An old beast woman? Swindler from the Bastard City. Skill trainer teaches. Alright. Control atrophy. There's a lot of magic skills in this game. I really thought it was just going to be a couple of things that were broken out. You know, that everything kind of fit into. There's a ton of magic skills. Oh, he has the ability to change what skills you're proficient in. Interesting. First get beanbags and a coffee and a pool table. Okay, well that's very interesting. Also, we didn't get a response back from Tunon when we sent him that thing. What is this? Oh, because you're at 0. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, like the spire that houses it long predates the people and culture of the younger realms. The name is a remnant of a long forgotten culture and wasn't understood until you ended the execution awoke the magic contained within the chamber. Okay. Ancient fortress rests in the corner of Apex's valley, its ring-shaped wall mimicking the mountains. Border of the nation, citadel has been repaired and while understaffed remains a formidable presence in the valley. Oh, I saw that there was actually the world map behind that as well. But let's go explore our base. What was it? What are you doing? Are you licking your butt on camera? The Croissant Hall. Oh, I have a throne. No one has sat upon it. Why haven't I sat upon my throne? Oh, everyone wants to talk. Oh, well, we might have to do that. Might have to talk in this RPG. I also don't know where to, I have not figured out how to do my party management. Oh, I didn't realize I could go down this way. Was there people down here that I didn't kill? What a loss. Research for dagger plans. The more research needed to fill the gaps in the plan. Ooh. Spire library upgrade. How exciting. I hope they give you the option to fondly regard your creation. Locked iron gauntlet. Access to a Spire forge grade. Upgrade. Wow, all this stuff. All this base stuff. Some food in this loose stone that is not hidden at all. More cheese. Let's go walk outside. Let's see what's going on. Who opened that? I thought I opened.
Can't do that.
Do you have eyes on this?
Initial conquest. Few blemishes remaining is testament to the veteran guard's reconstruction efforts. Oh, and has my banners all hanging up. Wow, they made those banners fast. I definitely did not have those banners with me. Do we have magic weavers? A weapon? I still haven't seen a party management thing. Most of the last 4 days have been spent on banner making and not on tidying up. Evidently, by the look of things, I don't have any manpower to clean up all this debris, but we got those banners made. All games like this need a fast mode. Swig of Insight. Oh boy. Wait, what does a Swig of Insight do? I didn't actually look. Oh. Okay. Seems bad. Heavy leather helm. Alright, I'm gonna try and figure out where the hell the party management thing is. So he says, you have considerable power over the Knitting Guild after letting their heinous crimes go unpunished for a lifetime supply of winter wear and banners. Yeah. Something like that. Oh, Barrick wishes to discuss something with me. Oh, that's great, Barrick. Wow, Wow. Ungrateful. The Archon of Knitting, though. Who is the Archon of Knitting? Can we ally with them? Wow, I make her afraid enough to make me give me a lightning weapon? That's fucking sweet. What a good ability. Grandma made of needles. Hmm. Do we need to go talk to them?
One moment, my friend. Just let me finish this thought.
Oh, okay. That's what I do. Alright, let's talk to Verse.
So, the Scarlet Chorus and Disfavored are at each other's throats. Can't say I didn't see that coming, but the Archons might have waited until one war was over before they started another.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she doesn't think that I made the right decision, but gonna throw that out there. Would you rather be loved or feared or have superpowers? Yes. Their war doesn't interest me.
Funny sentiment, considering you're in the center of it. Not that I'm judging. I'll say this much. Our time together is anything but dull. My blades are yours for as long as you'll have me. What do you need?
What they do? Oh, weird. Is she getting a psychic thing with Merrick? We'll talk again later. I just wanted to get through your conversation before I ditch you.
One moment, my... I will, I can sober up on the road. Ready to go?
Goodbye to you too.
I'm sorry. 3 mages just can't pass this up. What? Landry doesn't have anything to say? Landry? Alright. Oh. Oh, I can't, like... Okay, fine. There we go. Rearrange. Alright, so you got... Look at all those abilities you have. Ooh, Electric Jolt. Phantom Bolt. Yeah, let's look at what new spells we got. Oh. Technically, we didn't get any new spells. Well, why don't we get... I guess, yeah, we didn't get them for Lantry either. Well, we can probably talk to her and learn them, because we learned Restoration, at least. So... She actually doesn't start with a water spell. I mean, she starts with a water ability. She doesn't start with a water spell. Well, okay. How much is her lore skill? Is actually not that high. $80. 65. This is the one I already had. Oh wait, this is frozen grass. Not what I wanted anyway. 80. Well, we'll get there at some point. So we gotta turn this off. God. She has such a low, range. Or not range, lower. But we gotta give her some abilities here. What else do we want to give her? Oh yeah, so what are these here? We got this, Restoring Touch, and we got the Healing Wisps, right, which is cool. Yeah, I mean, whatever we can get from her, we'll talk to her next time probably. I'm just gonna look through this. I want to assign... oh, you can't get that. I don't think we need an accuracy. We don't really need range on it either, to be honest. Why is the core 50? Intensity is 70. Okay. Kind of want to assign this to you in place of this. It's just not actually all that useful of an ability. Honestly, kind of just gonna replace this because generally that seems like worthwhile. Illusion, Frost, right? Vigor. Do I have? No, I just have the one Vigor still. Sigil of Force, and we only have Concussive Bolt here. Sure. Assign that to you. And then... Pulse Pit. Sure. Just to give you something. Can we assign spells to Barrack? Technically? I'm assuming that none of them have low enough... Oh. Wow. We can! Huh. 4 mage! Yeah, technically. Wonder what we should give him. Maybe we should give him his own buff spell. Can he cast buff on himself? Sure. You don't think he's gonna be very good at it, but that's fine. Might as well. Just seems like because the cooldowns are so long, it's just valuable just to have more abilities. Yeah, I think we'll call the stream here. We beat Act 1. We gotta have some more conversations with people next time, but that's fine. Yeah. Let's look at the. Can we look at? Yeah, let's look at this. Can I? Okay, I can't zoom out here, which is a little weird. Looking forward to the chat with Ebb. Yeah, the Blade Grave. Why is everything unreachable? Oh, I guess because we have to go to the Bastard City first. Cacophony. Okay. In the Stone Sea. Oh, he went to the place where they turned, the stone thing broke, and he's in the place with the storm. Neither of them went over here where it's like fine. Question mark? Also, I find it really funny that I never actually claimed it, and the marshal was just like, I don't know, I guess you should probably take it. And then it was like, ever since you claimed the spire, I was like, I don't know. It's like, I don't want to, claiming, territory for myself just seems like it invites a lot of problems. I just want to be a lowly peon that no one pays attention to, which is already too late for that. Before I even got the tower. Anyway. Well, this is interesting. We're gonna see how all this plays out. But that will be next week. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to meeting my boss Daimon. Yeah. Tunon is well, he's the guy right here. And yeah, that's gonna be interesting. So this is the schedule. So yeah, I'll be back next Monday to continue Tyranny, and I'll be back tomorrow night to play Quadrilateral Cowboy, which we started last week. It was pretty interesting. Cool game. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend checking it out. Yeah, this is the rest of the schedule. I would like to make up Command & Conquer since I didn't stream it yesterday, but I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see. Yeah, the schedule's also below the stream. You can follow for notifications when I go live. You can sub for emotes of my cats. I appreciate everybody who hangs out in chats. It's a lot of fun for me. Hope it is fun for you guys, and I hope you join me again in the future. Good night.
So long, farewell to you, my friends. Goodbye for now, until we meet again. I say so long, farewell to you, my friends. Goodbye for now, until we meet again. It's been great to play and sing together in the box, and now it's time to say goodbye. So long, farewell to you, my friends. Goodbye for now, until we meet again. Goodbye for now, until we meet again.